Will you pray with me? God, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be pleasing to you. Amen. Tonight is Ash Wednesday. This is our annual moment to take a global collective pause and prepare ourselves to closely observe a significant series of events. Just as we take pause to prepare for our own personal events like birthdays, Christmas, weddings, important anniversaries, and graduations, tonight we prepare our hearts, our minds, and our souls for the 40-day Lenten journey that lies before us. Tonight, we are getting ourselves ready to intentionally take a closer look at the reality of Jesus' life, his death, his burial, and his resurrection. So the question for us tonight is, how do we prepare ourselves to take this journey? I know that when I'm preparing for a special occasion, I like to make lists upon lists to make sure that everything is just right. In fact, right now, my wife and I are planning our daughter's first birthday party. It's a little overwhelming because we have family flying thousands of miles for this 2-hour event. There are decorations to consider, the food, accommodations in Los Angeles, taxi runs to and from LAX, the ever-stressful guest list, the budget, the cake, the theme, and as I learned last night, the outfit that Afton will wear. It goes on and on. But what I want to remind us of tonight is this. Sometimes our preparation for a special event can distract us from the whole reason or person that we are trying to celebrate. If we plan the perfect birthday party for our daughter, yet somehow end up missing the smiles, giggles, and the pure joy of celebration and celebrating the gift of our daughter's life, then we all would have missed the entire point of the party. The day we show Afton the pictures from her first birthday party, we will surely be focusing not on the decor or the food. No, we will point to the people that were there, surrounding her with love and smothering her with kisses. This is Auntie and Uncle so-and-so, and they came a long way to celebrate you on your first birthday. Look, here's a picture of you and me and Mommy, smiling because we love you so much. That's what we want to remember. So how can we prepare for Lent on this Ash Wednesday without losing focus of the main thing? Ash Wednesday is historically recognized across the world by giving up something for 40 days. I'm sure many of us have already thought about what we might give up. Others just fast on particular days, an opportunity to not eat, to remember that Jesus is enough and that everything we need comes from him. I had a friend in seminary who literally wore a sackcloth for 40 days. Very bold. And we do these things with good reasons. I'm in no way condemning our rituals, but I'm wanting to remind us that they may easily distract us from the main thing. And what is it? It's tonight. Tonight reminds us of our human frailty and our utter dependence on God for everything that we are and everything that we have. Soon, we will impose ashes on our foreheads as we are reminded that we are literally made from dust particles. That's pretty astounding. We were just camping in Malibu Creek State Park. I brought home a lot of mud because it rained. And this morning, as I was getting my head together around the sermon, it just hit me. Look at that mud. Look at his heart, this mind. Our God, our Creator, is incredible. And the reality is that that's what we will return to. I grew up in a Jewish family, though we were Christian, but I remember going to my grandfather's funeral, and I remember asking my dad why his casket was just plain wood. And there, at the age of 13, I learned in the Jewish tradition that the body is sent straight back to the earth. In the parable we just read, we found a Pharisee who had gotten so caught up in throwing the right party for God that he forgot what God wanted all along. I think the passage that we read in Amos was written just for him. He was so proud of how he had checked all the boxes and done so much of the heavy lifting himself. Yet, in the humility of the tax collector, we see exactly what God is asking us tonight. The tax collector standing far away from the temple because he doesn't feel like he deserves to pray there, too ashamed to even lift his head towards God, simply summarizes the proper human place before our great God. God is the one who offers mercy to us, the sinners. There is nothing we can do to deserve God's affection or embrace, but there is a way of positioning ourselves to receive that affection and embrace. And it's in the opening of our arms and our hearts in humility before God, so that God can come in and transform our lives in ways that we can never ask or imagine. You're getting a lot of baby stuff here. I've been holding it all up, just waiting for the right moment. But I'm reminded of the first time my daughter hugged me. She's now 10 and a half months old. But from her first day on this earth, I've given her several opportunities to reciprocate the squeeze that I am giving her. Then one day, around 9 months old, she did it. She squeezed back. I never wanted to let that hug end. And this is, without a doubt, the embrace that God extends to each and every one of us, no matter how many dirty dust particles we may be made of. Tonight, we're compelled to humble ourselves. We are not God. We cannot earn some kind of right to be loved by God. We are God's little children, made in God's image, out of dust. Let us enter into that childlike posture. Let us open our arms to God, ask for his mercy, and receive it in a way that transforms us. In the Eastern churches, it is common to see the crosses within bearing Jesus on it. It is more dominant in the Western church to have a cross like ours. No Jesus. We tend to focus more on God's triumph over death by not having Jesus there. But tonight I want you to imagine that suffering Jesus on our cross, reminding us that our human dustness was felt by and experienced by him too. He felt the pains that we feel. He asked God for mercy before he died on the cross. We join Christ when we ask God for mercy. In just a little bit, we'll begin the imposition of ashes. During that time, there will be an image on the screen that really relates to this idea of Jesus being with us. Okay, so I started this homily with a question. How do we prepare ourselves to take this Lenten journey? Yes, we will plan spaces and experiences along the way, such as tonight. Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, and an epic Easter Sunday worship service where we will spare no expense to celebrate that amazing day. But how do we prepare for it? We do it by knowing our place. We let God be God over and in all of our lives. We remember our own finitude amidst God's endless expanse. We do it by putting symbolic ash on our foreheads, marking us as God's precious children who are made out of simple dust. And we do it by repeating the words of the tax collector. We say, God, have mercy on us, sinners. And finally, we receive that mercy by releasing any guilt that weighs on our hearts and any sins of weakness that may plague us. Amen.